Art has always been such an important part of our lives. It's a reflection of our culture.
It teaches us about ourselves and our communities.
And it is an outlet during times of struggle and hardship.
This year, the LA County Department of Arts and Culture is celebrating its 20th year of its Arts Internship Program. Throughout the years, the program has been able to provide 2,200 students with entry points into the arts through paid internship opportunities throughout the county.
Interns participating in the program have logged in a combined 1 million hours.
Throughout every crisis, the program has been resilient in helping to uplift the next generation of artists as they elevate the spirit of our community and provide hope for the future.
From 9/11 to the 2008 recession,
And the Black Lives Matter movement.
And now COVID-19.
It's musicians that provide the soundtrack,
Filmmakers that tell the stories,
and artists that paint the better picture of tomorrow.
Yeah, the arts really saved my life when I was younger in high school. Really trying to find an outlet where I can kind of express my frustration. It taught me how to communicate and just really gave me inspiration as a kid.
I was raised very much to live under the radar. The dream of my mother was to become a doctor, a lawyer, and an engineer at the same time. If I was gonna be an artist, it was gonna be a classical pianist. One clear obstacle was that I wasn't seeing other people who looked like me working in the arts as artists.
When I was growing up, I had my fair share of art classes, music classes, but you always had to trek from one place to the other, and mom and dad had to drive you. But as I grew older, it was harder to find those art opportunities all housed in the same place.
Initially, I applied for the internship. I saw, well, I can get paid during the summer doing what I love. So I remember the first day, I'm just like, all right, what am I really getting myself involved in? But it was really one of the best experiences that opened up so much in my life. And without this internship program, I don't think I'll be where I am today.
It was as though they were pulling back the curtain and letting you see the inner workings of an arts institution. It was a great time to discover that there is a place for people like me in the arts management field, and that it was up to us to change and diversify it for future generations to come.
The internship program was so cool because I got to meet so many other wide-eyed, like in college or just leaving college kids who wanted to also work in the arts, and getting a little bit of a window of all these cool arts organizations.
I was able to connect with people who are gonna be those future founders, those future marketing directors and things like that. And we came out the program together, and now we're able to help each other throughout our community.
There are so many takeaways from the program, but fundraising is one key takeaway that they don't really teach you at school.
I was able to see how a nonprofit works, how it's structured, how it gets funded. For me, I always wanted to start my nonprofit, but I never knew how it worked. Being able to understand the business aspect of it, understanding that you have to back the magic up with the data, that was really important to me, because as a creative, sometimes your heart is just in making the idea make sense, but in order to do that, you have to have the funding, you have to have the marketing.
It's really important to understand how to articulate your mission statement and your vision. That translates so much to the audience that you bring to your work, to the funders that will support it, really trying to get down to the detail about what it is I do and what makes it so special.
So being around this nonprofit, it allowed me to see the different roles that I could participate in that are never really talked about. Especially here, the founder, he grew up in South Los Angeles, the same area I grew up in, and then being able to go to his house, I'm like, wow, like he did this, and now he has this beautiful theater that we're sitting here at right now. Being able to talk to him, hear his journey, and to see somebody who looks like me, and I was like, all right, I'm supposed to be here. In my mind, I knew I was supposed to be here, but then when I was able to be around it and experience, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm supposed to be here. I'm not crazy.
The previous executive director of the Los Angeles Music and Arts School, Isela Sotelo, was my mentor during the internship program. And one of the great things about the program is that I started as an intern at this institution, and now I've been the executive director for 5 years. We provide programs in music, art, dance, and drama at low or free rates. My role day to day is ensuring the fiscal health of the institution, as well as program design to marketing, setting the tone and the vision for the future.
Right now, so I have my own nonprofit. It's called Project Pit. So we bridge the gap between up-and-coming creatives and people in the music industry. And then I also have my entertainment company. It's called New Spec Entertainment. So I manage a DJ. His name is DJ Malski, the DJ for the LA Rams, Sparks. So I've been able to just kind of have my hand in both lanes.
So COVID completely sidelined my tour of Christina Wong for public office, which this is the set of right now. This was is supposed to play out in a big stage, and now it's playing out in my living room on my laptop via Zoom. But I was able to pivot pretty quickly. And one thing I've learned, having lived through 9/11 and the 2008 recession, is it doesn't help to sink into panic. So immediately when the lockdown happened, I was like, what can I do to help other people? And then I started to make masks for frontline and essential workers on my home sewing machine. And that ended up just exploding into what has now become a semi-empire called the Auntie Sewing Squad. And we're a group of hundreds of volunteers all over the country, and we sew masks for communities that don't have access to them, which right now is a lot of communities of color. It's a lot of undocumented communities, incarcerated communities, farm workers. So we are just sewing in support of them.
We are shifting online with our lessons and really helping people who don't have access to the internet or devices to get access into programs that can help them with that, and also ramping up our financial aid.
It's definitely been an adjustment. Definitely was going crazy in the first 2 months. Once I kind of relaxed and realized, if we can get through this, we can get through anything. And then leaning on the experiences that I experienced in the internship program and just throughout my life, I know, this too shall pass.
The trickiest thing to get over as an artist is like, you want something to be this way and be presented this certain way, but sometimes the whole world will change faster than you can control it, and you just sort of have to run with it. I mean, right now we need the arts so much. We are like hungry for engagement. Parents are taking their kids to protests and rallies. Like, there's such a great moment and shift that's happening, and the arts are there to help support that and to comment on it.
I think it's important for artists not being afraid to use their platform. It's kind of that unspoken just mentality. We're not gonna dabble in the political issues. That kind of stays over there. But now you're starting to see a lot of artists now not being afraid to talk about these issues, and having those uncomfortable conversations, I think, has been important.
There is a lot of talk right now in social justice. There's a lot of talk of equity. Paid arts internships are so important. Lower income students cannot afford to take a full summer unpaid internship. Having a paid internship program really sets the tone for how internships in this country should be.
I think artists will continue to shape the future of LA. I think artists tell the story of what's going on. I feel like artists are the messengers.
I've stayed in LA because of the artists in this town, because they feed my soul, they feed my brain, they make me think about things in ways I never imagined.
Yeah, my message is, don't be afraid, get out your head. I remember the first day, I kind of stayed in my corner, my own little bubble, but I just think it's so important to get to know as many people as you can. It's so crazy how I went from being an intern to now working for the company that I interned with. And then from there, I've been able to kind of create my own brand. So I've been through all levels of it, but that took for me not to be afraid to ask questions, not being afraid to just give it your all.
For the current class of interns, don't take this as a barrier, what's happening in the sector. Take this as an opportunity. I did the internship program at the height of the recession, and I think that made our experience much more valuable. That class today are performing on Broadway, they are college counselors, connecting people through the arts, and there's a lot of opportunities to learn what it takes to bounce back. And if you learn those things now, your path will be much easier in the future.
As the program enters its historic 20th year, it's important to realize that you are part of something bigger.
The ripple effects of this program can be felt across the region, with many interns remaining in the field, and some even going on to mentor future classes of interns.
The valuable experiences you'll have,
the lessons you'll learn,
and the network of colleagues and mentors that you will build will help propel you into the future.
Now it's your turn to begin your journey. Where will your art take you?
Where will your art take you?
Where will your art take you?